In the next few months, we're going to have the most important vote in British political history in, well, certainly 36 years. It was the first vote that we get to decide the way we vote for 140 years. Gladstone changed the voting system to us. Oh. Is that okay? I'll stand a bit to the right. Is that better? It's the first chance in 140 years we've got to actually change the way we vote. Because when Gladstone changed the secret ballot in, I think, 1862, it was the last chance we had to actually change the way that we do things the way we vote. I know lots of people have won the vote since then, women putting the vote before the First World War, eventually doing it after the First World War, and then younger people getting it in the 1960s. But this is our first chance to actually change the way we do things in elections in the UK, and it's going to be a very important time for us on May the 5th. I came into the, I know we've got a journalist in the room, but I still admit to being a Liberal Democrat these days. I came into the party in 1985 when I was 15, and the reason I came to the Liberal Democrats at the time, it was actually the Social Democrats at the time. The reason I came into the party was because they actually wanted to change things. And a woman called Kathleen Finnerty knocked on my door when I was 15. It was a Sunday morning, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, so my mother, who was actually the reason she called, was busy having a lie-in because it was Sunday morning. So I asked Kathleen in, we had a cup of coffee, and we started talking about what we thought was wrong with the British political process. And the main thing we thought was wrong was the fact that it was ridiculous that in those days the Alliance, but now the Liberal Democrats, received 20 or 25% of the vote and only received 22 members of Parliament at the time. And we just thought it was an amazingly corrupt system, that 23% of the British people were being ignored by the process where we elect MPs. And it was one of the main reasons I got involved. And she knew I was interested in this, because we'd responded to a party political broadcast. I know it's a rare creature indeed to respond to a party political broadcast. But we responded to the one by John Cleese, if you remember it, where he was explaining how the political process was bankrupt. And we were really angry about the way Britain works. And to be honest, I'm still angry. I've been angry for 25 years about the way our country's run and the way that we elect MPs. And it is actually the reason I got involved in politics. So it's a great sort of privilege to be able to actually, for the first time, be able to do something about it. I think we all know that the British political system is pretty broken, and I think it's our job in the next few weeks to make sure we fix it. The problem I think we all have is that what are we actually going to do to make sure we win this referendum? It's an incredibly big beast for us to try and sort out, because it's the first time, and Liberal Democrats do rather well in elections these days, but actually they're still only getting 20 or 25% of the vote, even in local elections. And we've got to make sure that we get 50% of the population plus one to win this on May the 5th. So it's not just going to be people who are Liberal Democrats who win it, but you are, to be honest, the absolute core foundation of what we need to do. I've got a really great team actually working in the North West and in Britain as well. And we've got people who are Liberal Democrats, we've got people who are members of the Labour Party, some even from the older Labour Party, believe it or not, who are pluralists and engage with the political process. We've got Greens, we've got people from UKIP, believe it or not. We've even got, don't tell anyone, a few Conservatives supporting us. Because they actually want to see the way we do things differently. I think most people think that our democracy is no longer fit for purpose. We don't actually elect MPs in a fair and reasonable way. It's ridiculous, although he was a Liberal, that Russell Johnson got elected with 26% of the vote in 1992. Absolutely ridiculous, because is it right that an MP only has the support of a quarter of his population or her population? It just doesn't seem fair. Now, we've been through all sorts of battles over the years, and we've won all sorts of elections in the North West, and when I got involved, there were only two Liberals, there were only Liberals at the time, there weren't Liberal Democrats, and they were David Alton and Cyril Smith. And in both their own peculiar ways, they were very sort of big spokesmen for their local communities, and it's one thing that Liberal Democrats have been able to do for many years, and since then we've had great victories in places like Ribble Valley and Southport and now Westmoreland and Hazel Grove and more recently Burnley. And it's also actually been a great movement forward. It's something that we're only getting this referendum because you've done so well. But the problem is we still don't have enough people to make sure we win on May the 5th. Our responsibility is to make sure that not just you do well in your local elections, but we win on May the 5th. we've got to get the message out there that we are the good guys. Now, we're trying to change the system to make sure people actually understand the way we improve our democratic process is through this. You'll hear all sorts of fantastical concepts that it's going to cost £250 million to do it. It's absolute bunkum. They're coming up with all the negative messages they possibly can to make sure it doesn't change, because these people have got a vested interest in making sure there isn't change. And I've been angry for 25 years, and we all know the system's broken. It's time we fixed it. And it's time we all work together to make sure that happens. So, I'm happy to take questions, by the way, because I think it's important that, you know, if you've got any questions about the campaign, I take them. But just try and think that on May the 5th, yeah, you've got council elections, they're very important, but this is our one and only opportunity to change the way this country is run, probably, in our lifetimes. You know, if it took 140 years to change the secret ballot and we've not changed the way we vote since, can I make a suggestion that although the medical science might advance a bit in the next few years, it's unlikely many of us are going to be around in 140 years' time to give it another go. So please work your hardest. This is the most important thing you'll do in your political careers. If we win this, it's going to change the way Britain's run for the next 140 years. So please come and help us. Do as much as you can, deliver the leaflets, do as much canvassing as you can, but make sure you get the people out on May the 5th, because it's time we fix this broken political process in Britain. Thank you.